everyone, welcome again to this session where we are going to be examining the assembly tips that will be useful to us when we are assembling this beautiful chassis right here. I'll show you the end product so that you know how your final, once you're done, how it would look like. Just a minute. So this is the front and this is the back. Again, if you're seeing this for the first time, please don't feel overwhelmed. I know it looks like there's lots of colors and lots of wires, but once we go through the installation guide, you'll be able to install and to assemble this unit, and your finished product will look like this or even better. Okay, so don't worry. And if you have any question, please let me know. And also refer to your guide. Okay. So by the time this session is done, I would like us to be very comfortable with using our installation guide. That is one. And I will also want us to be able to have tips on our fingertips on how to make the assembly process better. We will also look at wagos. This is a wago right here, okay? And we look at how to work with one. And we will also identify what a temperature sensor is on the charge controller, because it's very important that we keep it safe. Okay, great. So we can start. One of the first things I want you to do once you open your suitcase is pull out the bags which have different cables. You'll see blue, yellow, white cables, red cables in a bag, and you'll see another bag which has receptacles. These are the receptacles. This is how they look. Okay, these are the receptacles. You'll find them in a bag, and you'll also find switches. These switches are also breakers and a pop-up breaker. So what I'd like you to do is get all the wires out, arrange them according to color. So white wires or on their own, yellow wires, red wires, blue wires, like that. Okay. Then arrange the receptacles together, the switches together. Make sure the screws are all together, screws and nuts, so you don't lose them. And then of course put the wagos, these are the wagos, right, near the cables. Okay. A quick note, please note that any yellow wire refers to solar. Okay. Any red wire refers to there's a battery wire. Any blue wire is for the loads. Loads are anything that is going to consume energy or power. Okay, like if I set up a light bulb here, it's going to pull power from the system, so that's a load. If I'm charging my phone, that's a load because it's pulling power from the system. Okay, awesome. So lay out all the things you're going to use to set this up. Right. Once you're done, pick up your instruments. This is an instrument of great value. It looks like just a simple screwdriver, but it has 6 components. So if you pull this out, okay, you have one side which has a star and a flat, which is a little bit large for the larger screws and nuts, and it also has a nut driver. Okay, so what you'll find is there are some nuts at the very back of the chassis that you may need to tighten with this. So with this end, you just flip it in and tighten like that, or turn it anti-clockwise to unscrew. Okay. If you find the screw is a little bit large, for example here, see, like you can't even touch the screw, what you do is you make sure you flip it, turn it around, and always return whatever you've removed from your 6-in-1 screwdriver. Okay. Set it in a safe place, and then you can use this tinier version to tighten any other nut that you might need to tighten a smaller one. Great. Always return it back so that you don't lose it. Okay, so you've lined out everything you need, you have your equipment. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure you pay special attention to the symbols in your books. So I'm going to take you through 3 main symbols that I want you to make a note of. So one, this is just a symbol to mean the MCB. This is the MCB right here. Okay. This is just the main control board. So anytime you see this symbol, see this arrow that is going around like this, it just means that you flip it like this to the back, because it might be easier to work with the board from the back. Okay, and anytime you see this, it's a screwdriver with an arrow, it just means make sure you use your screwdriver. You'll see this a lot in the installation guide. Okay, and then one more sign that I want you to pay special attention to, this one right here. This is a screw, and this is a wire that is supposed to be screwed under the screw. I'll show you in a few minutes how to do that. Pay special attention here, because if this connection is loose, your system might not work. Okay, awesome. So you've laid out your wires. Okay, you know the yellow ones are for solar, the red ones are for the battery, the blue ones are for the load. If you forget, please refer to your installation guide. From page 21, actually, it lists down everything that you need to arrange nicely. So you could refer to page 21 to see what you need to arrange. Okay, you have your tools, and again, remember your symbols. This just means flip it over, use your screwdriver, and make sure your connection is tight. Okay, awesome. So once we are done with that, I want us to pay special attention to our charge controller. Please note this part. This is where the temperature sensor is, right here. Be very careful with this section because it's delicate. Don't fidget with it, don't go poking it, don't put things on it. Be very, very careful with this section. That's why it's protected. Keep it safe so that the charge controller can actually do its work. Okay, that done, let us consider how to set up a wire and to set up these cables that go to the charge controller. So I'm going to remove one and show you how to do it very quickly. Okay, so do we remember this diagram right here? Okay, so the wire has to go under the screw. What will happen is you'll notice that there's a wire like this that you find on your tables once you've arranged everything out. It has a soldered part. So you bring your wire inside here under the screw down here. Okay, insert it beneath and make sure you tighten it well. Make sure it's not loose. Make sure, and once you're done, pull it, tug it. See, like that, that means it's loose. Okay, so make sure you screw it on tightly so it doesn't move, like that, so that you ensure the connection is secure. Okay, once we've done that, consider your wagos. As I said earlier, this is a wago or a terminal block. It just helps you set up wires inside. So what you do is you open it up to a 90-degree angle like this, and you need to use some force. Don't worry, it won't break. It feels like it will break, but it won't break. It's very strong. When you do that, you can set up your wires. So we're going to use this as an example. Insert it here like that, and then we'll shut it, push it down until there's a clicking sound, and pull it to make sure it's firm. Okay, but please don't leave your wires like this all frayed. If you have any wires which have been damaged or either exposed, you can also just add installation tape, but ideally your wires should look like this, where the exposed part is covered in the wago and everything else is insulated or covered. Okay, if you have any damaged wires, take tape, insulating tape, and just cover the wire with tape. I'm sure you're able to do that. As I said earlier, please don't have frayed wires coming out of the wago. They are a danger in electrical systems. Okay, great. So we've noticed where we remember to keep our temperature sensor safe. Remember to screw your wires tightly. Okay, insert them in the right place. Remember how to set your wires up in the wago. Push it to a 90 degrees angle, clip until you hear the click sound. Okay, the other thing I also want you to note is all these receptacles and switches and breakers need to be set up in a particular way. Please don't set them up upside down, because they also don't work on your head. You work on your feet, right? So every time you set them upside down, imagine it's you walking on your head. It fit up. Okay, make sure the letters are all facing up and they're legible for the receptacles. Okay, if it's a breaker, make sure you can read 10 amps so that it's not upside down. For the switches, please set them up in the right way. It might be a bit confusing because we use the UK system, but please remember to use your guide. Okay, so for the main switch, please make sure the 1 is up, okay, and the 0 is below. And for the other switch, the light switch, okay, make sure that the 1 is on that other end and the 0 is here. Okay, so if this is one way you can help yourself is you just do this. Main switch 1, light switch 1 is facing this side. Awesome. I think we'll just do one more item, and before we end, I need to mention about the flag terminals. Look at this is the flag connector. When you look at its inside, it has a cable that looks like it wants to hug someone. Okay, it means when you're using this connector, when you insert it into another metallic component, make sure the other metallic component is hugged. It's right here in the middle. Do not let the metallic component be outside or behind, because then it won't work. So hug the metal that you're connecting to with the flag connector. So make sure you bend it, insert it straight, and make sure that the metal is right here in the middle. Okay, I think that is it. Yes, I needed to add one more item. Anytime you come across a wire that looks like this, it's already been prepared for you. You will need to remove the insulation, okay? And a lot of those wires you'll find we're going to use them in the charge control area. So you will insert them right here through the hole. They'll come out through the hole into the charge controllers that earlier mentioned to you. And I guess that's that.